Alright, so in Maya, I'm going to just open up my Maya here, and I should have a window ready to start. This has, if I mesh separate this for a second, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 polyplanes that make up the inside of this. Okay, I'll just modify center pivot that and show you that, yep, they are 4 separate planes. Okay. Now what I would do is do this and then put it back together. It's a lot easier. So these 4, I want them to be part of a single mesh. I can just combine them. That way I'm dealing with their UVs only. And just to start out with, I'm just going to say automatic map them. So I highlight them, automatic map them. Okay, so this is what I get for my UVs for an automatic map. Well, I have to bring in that texture. So here's the texture on my hard drive. So if I go to desktop, war, and then I'll just sort by date and time. That way it's just a little easier to pull up the last one I worked on. There we go. So I'll just click and drag that into my texture palette, and this is what I have. Okay, so it doesn't matter what kind of material you use, because really once we translate it over to the engine, it's going to be a different story altogether. So you can start out with a Lambert or blend, it doesn't really matter. So there's my Lambert, middle mouse button, click and drag it over to default. Okay, this will make it semi-transparent. And then what I can do is then apply this new material to the UVs. Oops, the material, not the texture. There we go. So I get this. And this doesn't really work out because, again, it has flat spots in it. So, you know, glass would never shatter that way. So this is how you handle it. Now there's 4 windows and there's 10 vectors. Okay, so let me explain that real quick. So if we count these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Because that makes up the 0 and 1. So 4 does not divide into 10. Ergo problem. So you actually can divide this up into 2.5. So we're going to go 2.5 rough, and then drag it down. And I'm just going to have this just a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. Doesn't matter which one you get placed there or whatever. It's just as long as they're all 2.5. How accurate? Not deadly accurate, just 2.5. I don't like having any overlap though. So if I have any overlap, I usually just kind of do that. Zoom in, get it as close as I can. Okay, again with this one. Again, I'm just going to pull that over to shell, control right click to shell. Just move that over. Then just move it back. And most of these, what I want to do is just make sure they're not floating outside the bounds. So usually I take it like this, hit R and scale it negative, pull it down. This one I'm just going to pull in just a little bit. These I'm just going to scale negative. That flattens them all out. And pull it up. There's another way you can do that too. If you just hit this magical button over here, it wasn't on my screen. this one right here. So if I have that, it'll snap them all into line with each other. It's a little bit more accurate too. I was just being lazy. Okay, there we go. So the idea here is in the UDK, all we need to do is write a shader that allows this to happen. Okay. Good deal. I do see a flat spot right there. So what I'm going to do is kind of look at that. And I think it's because, oh, my material isn't wrapping, it's my UV. Okay, yeah. It'll be alright. Because I don't have my material panning out. So that will wrap like that, I think. So we'll try it out. If not, it's an easy fix. So let's put this back. Again, I would make sure these panes of glass fit quite well. You know, take a few seconds to see if they do match up. Modify center pivot. Good. And if they don't, what I usually do is just grab the vertices of one and scosh it around. You can scale these just a little bit. I don't like to put too many back faces in. I really, even a small ratio like this. But the frame is thicker, so a back face shouldn't occur. Alright, so there we go. That's all accurate now. I can go ahead and grab all these, grab all of it, and go mesh combine. So there's two different materials there. There's a material on the frame, and then there's a material on the glass. They're two separate materials. Just know that. So this material is different than this material. The UVs are overlapping, but the materials are different, or we're using two different materials, so that's okay. Alright, I'm just going to go export selection. And I'll call this warehouse random broken window. Okay. Export selection. Now another thing is I should have centered that. I think it is centered to the world, but just in case, let's check. Yes, it is centered to the world, and I like having it centered to the corner for just about most objects because they're easy to place within a UDK. Okay, so now we have our window. It's time to go into the engine, so I'm going to cut this video off, go to the engine, and then we'll import it in, and I'll show you how to write the shader. Alright, so meet me there.